The shot is Carolina. Hey, what do you say?
Talking Sauce, episode 62.
6'2".
What up?
What up?
Back in
Me
the
and Cody have
building.
the same idea.
Yeah.
All four of us in here. How we doing, boys?
Doing all right. Hanging in
Doing
there.
it, man.
I
Still
like how we
slightly
all have
insane.
different color shirts, like Power Rangers and shit.
You know I'm red.
Nice.
You know I'm red.
Yeah. And you know I'm white because I'm actually the leader. So
Yeah.
This is
Well,
like,
You're
like
more like
Red
the
Ranger's the
Harbinger.
leader. Like Red Ranger's the leader, and then like the White Ranger comes in and like he just cucks Tommy or cucks Jason right out of the leadership
Well,
role.
yeah, but then you turn
And,
bad.
and with Kimberly cucks. him.
yo, Kimberly, dude.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
Your guys' Power Ranger knowledge goes a lot deeper than mine, dude.
Well, but technically, Josh, you are Jacob. The white and the green are the same
Technically,
person.
I am Jacob, yeah, because he's
Well,
the Green Ranger, but he's the
he's-
evil version of me.
Right.
I'm the evil version.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh.
When the Green Ranger originally comes on, he's under Rita's spell. So
Mhm.
Dude, we should have just like live stream
And there's no
Power
Purple Ranger,
episodes.
so you're fucked.
Well, this is actually kind of a red shirt, so
What?
we all just want to fuck this up.
is
There's
this
no
dress
color.
blue
The
or
shirt
yeah?
is not red.
Yeah.
The
That
shirt
shirt
is
is
not red at
purple.
all. That
White
shirt's
and
purple.
gold or black and blue?
Yeah.
Mm.
No, it's the light. It's the sunlight.
Your sunlight.
That shirt is purple. What else is new going on in y'all's lives, man?
Dude,
Uh,
nothing.
I
Playing the
finished
same
Netflix.
video games? You finished
I
Netflix?
finished Netflix. So
I've
I've
found
done the whole
end of
catalog.
it. I've-
The whole thing.
No,
I
I've
gotta
actually-
say Hulu's superior.
Surprisingly, we actually
Who
just
becomes
started
king?
watching. Whoa. In what?
in
in
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Who gets the crown?
What happens to the president after season 8?
The kid in the wheelchair?
No idea. No, we actually just started watching Ozark, which has been
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's sick.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been like, it's been one of those things where one of my buddies was like, "Dude, just imagine if you had never watched Breaking Bad before, and now you're just getting to start watching Breaking Bad."
Yeah. It moves a lot quicker than Breaking Bad does, but I
Yeah.
like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
We're
Ozark
time
is
for all
pretty
that.
sick.
yeah. I think we're like an episode away from the season finale of the first season.
Ooh.
But
Ooh.
that's
you-
been good because
Dylan
Not to-
ruined something huge.
Hold on, not to spoil,
Have you seen?
not to spoil anything crazy, but have you gotten to the part with the cross?
yes.
Okay, that's
So
that's
we just watched what I thought was basically like a filler episode where it showed like it was like a back in time where it showed how like everybody met up and stuff.
Mhm.
So I did see the cross.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So we're
I've been watching this documentary about this place called Skinwalker Ranch out in Utah. All right.
Terrible
Oh,
name.
What is it called?
Skinwalker
Skinwalker
Ranch.
Ranch.
No, is that what the documentary's called?
The documentary is called like The Mystery of Skinwalker Ranch. Like it's
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah. It's like one word off from like,
Okay.
the name of the place. There's this
Right,
place out in
continue.
Utah, dude, that got bought up by this rich Mormon dude. And basically it's just like this, it's like this old Native American land that used to like that has all these like ties to UFO stories and like crazy phenomenon. So the whole show's it's on History Channel. The whole show's about like trying to them do experiments. I guess it's not really there's a documentary on Hulu that's trash about the same thing, but this is a show shot it's a History Channel show, so you know it's pretty cheesy. But it's like it's not bad. It's not bad. It's if you're into UFOs and shit, which is a hot topic right now.
So it's a documentary, or is it like one of those?
It's
like
not a
dramatic
documentary.
remakes. Like dramatic
It's not a
remake
documentary.
things?
It's more of like a live action TV series
Okay.
Mm.
shot with in reality setting.
It's like
Yeah,
a found footage type thing.
Yeah.
No. It's just like like any dickhead History Channel show where they're like, all right, here's this sscientist, here's
Oh,
this
okay,
scientist,
gotcha.
and they all
They
take turns
basically-
going to the room and go, I couldn't believe what I saw when we saw this.
And there's
It
just
happened.
nothing. There's just like they end up finding nothing. It's
But
all
see, this
mystery shows.
this is the thing though. Shit, like that's where you have to go. Like it's either fake or it's not. But like there's like in the show they caught a UFO sighting like outside of what they were doing. And then
Oh, wow.
also there's this guy who before like they ever started doing the show, he's like the superintendent on the ranch. Again, like all different types of crazy shit happens. But something happened to him is he got like this giant like bump on the back of his head. and he ends up going to the ER. Never gets like any clear medical explanation of like what caused it or what it ever was. It was just some like abscess. So he gets it removed. They're filming this show, and they're up in this one area, like on this ridge, and the main science dude is like, really what it comes down to is like a lot of this stuff just has like mad like radiation contamination, but like how and what's causing it is what is like the mystery.
Right.
So they're starting to find that out. So they're like at this one hole that's got all these like fucking meters and shit going off, and the dude who had the bump on his head started like getting a headache, and bro like got like another bump on his head, like a smaller bump, and they had to take him to the ER like mid episode, and you're just like, this shit is crazy.
Whoa.
Again, like it's either like you either believe it's real or it's not, but it's pretty entertaining.
I'm invested. They've got me convinced through you, dude. Like I'm already.
Bro,
the government released UFO footage. It's all real.
So that's the whole thing too with this place is all the stuff that this one guy who used to own the ranch did all these experiments. Apparently, all those experiments are like with the CIA. Like they're not giving out. They won't give that shit up. So some rich dude bought the ranch, hence all the experiments they're doing now, and it's all like his money. And yeah, just I've been watching some of that.
It's Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, he's just in there. He's the reforming guy.
He's investing in all of it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
But other than that, dude, just Warzone. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm like 70 or 80 hours into The Witcher, just like haven't even progressed the story that far in the grand scheme of things. Just doing everything. Just like doing everything, dude.
Skyrim playthrough.
For real, you gotta just get overpowered, dude. That's like the first goal. Get overpowered.
Dylan already dropped Skyrim, picked up Fable.
Yeah, no, straight up. I tried to pick up Oblivion, and then I got like right after the tutorial, and then my Xbox, old ass original white 360, just goes, "Oh, sorry, can't read the disc anymore."
Damn.
I was gonna say no red ring of death.
No red ring. It just couldn't read the disc like 3 times in a row. I was like, "Fuck
that
it."
Sucks.
So I started playing Fable 2, and I'm already like almost done with it.
Really?
Jeez.
Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna beat the main story tonight.
I feel it. Dude, did you see?
It's just buying houses after that. It's just I'm gonna buy all the houses. I'm gonna raise all the rent, raise all the prices.
That's what half of Fable is just becoming a real estate mogul.
Yeah.
But like in Fable 3, like that is the game. You know?
That's the game. Yeah, it's just buying the country.
Yeah, pretty much, which is
cornering
great.
the market. Yeah.
Did you see all the Elder Scrolls 6 that got leaked?
No
stuff on that, dude. They so apparently it's going to be, well, again, you got to take everything with a grain of salt because it's still like 4 years out or whatever. But the guy who leaked it all onto Reddit was showing all his the NDAs and stuff and the what like the cease and desist. What is that they send you?
Cease and desist.
I mean, I think it's just a cease and desist.
But he's posting that. But basically, they think it's going to be called Redfall. They're supposed to be adding in a real big boat mechanic, like kind of like Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, like have a ship,
like some Sea of Thieves shit.
Yeah, and like you can get people to work on the ship.
I watched Muppet Treasure Island yesterday, man. So
Muppet Treasure Island, that's the with fucking Tim Curry.
Yeah, shit goes hard as fuck.
Dude, have you guys seen all of the purple versus green gang in GTA?
Like you versus Jacob
videos?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen those clips?
I know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen all of them. I know what you're talking about.
Fucking hilarious, dude. It's just like gangs of people in either all green or all purple. Basically,
this
it's
shit
just
comes
like a
from
turf war.
the Lokes and the Bustas or whatever, right? From San Andreas. That's what it's from.
Well, it's
the green,
it's
purple.
In neon skin suits.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no, they're like full like neon green or neon purple.
I was thinking of something totally different.
No.
There's these videos
Pretty
where
good content.
They take the NPC characters of the ballas from San Andreas and the Green Street. That's what it is, like the Green Street Lokes or whatever. And they have like videos of them doing like, what's that one video series that Rooster Teeth does with Halo?
Red versus Blue.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like
right.
Like
that. But that's funny.
And the last thing, I just looked it up because I knew there was one big thing I was forgetting. With the Elder Scrolls thing, they said their goal is to have hundreds of NPCs being able to fight on the screen at the same time. So those big like Civil War battles that are supposed to be like, epic.
Battles.
But then you get there and it's like 8-on-8, and it's like it's because they don't have a choice, but they want to have it be just like those huge.
So you don't have to download the mod anymore.
Yeah.
I'll say that would be super dope. I don't know if I trust Bethesda to deliver.
Yeah, just in general, they've had some rough go with Fallout and all that. So
yeah, it's looking rough for an Elder Scrolls fan out here. Dog.
But they're releasing that it's called like Starfield or whatever. It's like just RPG in space, basically. But that's supposed to come out before the next Elder Scrolls. So hopefully that game doesn't suck. And then
they're probably going to put a lot of test mechanics in that to see how it. I mean, the thing about their past few is that like Elder Scrolls Online is an MMO. Fallout 76 was an MMO, but they didn't tell anybody it was an MMO until it came out. So I think like Elder Scrolls 6 will be all right in the sense that it's, I hope, supposed to be a standalone single player. It's not having to be,
for sure.
There's less to worry about when it's not on a fucking giant public server.
And luckily, they've had some competition come out since Skyrim to hopefully make them up there. Because Bethesda kind of owned the whole role-playing game sphere for a while with between Fallout and Skyrim and all that. So
and it goes all the way back to Morrowind.
Yeah.
For some people. I mean, you look at like how good Rockstar did with GTA 5 and Red Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Red Dead, too. That's like one of the best single players
ever
in a long time.
Yeah.
In a long time. I mean, obviously, Bethesda's not going to put like the same character development into it, but just from like the small mechanics you can do and all that. That's the shit they got to look at.
But definitely between Red Dead, GTA, and The Witcher, they've got some real competition out there. So.
Speaking of competition, dude, are states like are some states just like trying to see who can be the stupidest, who can fuck shit up again the quickest?
Well,
it's America, like baby.
America. I don't even know.
Didn't Michigan extend its order? Like, I think I saw something that because like Michigan was one of the big states where Trump was like liberate Michigan, but I think that they ended up.
Is that what Trump sounds like?
That's a really good Trump impression.
I think that's just.
On. It depends on who he's talking to.
That's what I feel like it sounds like. He sounds like in his head.
It's funny.
But he was. I mean, that was like one of the big states where people thought they were going to, open up really early, and the mayor came out and was like, "Nah, what are you doing that?"
Good.
There you go.
Good.
Well, what are the states that are going to open early? I think Florida obviously is going to be on that list. I think Georgia, Louisiana.
I think that Georgia already has.
Yeah, I thought like 3 already are open. Georgia,
Ohio, and Texas, I think already. Of
course,
have opened up somewhat. Because I've got friends that down in Georgia. They're going back to work now. Like they work in like restaurants, and they're like fully back open. Like not like the same hours, everything. They're staying open till like midnight or whatever.
I mean, look,
like
we're not the experts. It seems like the experts are saying it's still not safe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I want to clarify something too. When Cody had asked that one question a few episodes ago about like when is the right time to start going back to shit. And my answer at the time was like, as soon as shit's open. There's a very important caveat to that. I feel like
it would be open at the right time.
Yeah.
Well, right. Like just because it's open doesn't mean that it's time. That it's time, and people are also saying that it's okay to do it. Not just because I'm able, because that might be happening here sooner than it's needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going nowhere.
I think they said that like the original guideline was that your state had to show like 14 consecutive days of decrease.
Yeah.
And then you were able to open up. That was like originally, and not a single state has had that yet.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm pretty sure like every statistic is still on a rise, If not, I think quickly, it's still rising.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
now if they open Backyard Bistro back up, will Cody be right there? Maybe.
You know it. Nah, bro. Repping the site.
Dude, the tables are far apart, dude.
Just to be around some like Kane's like merchandise. So,
yeah.
It's just something that's not my fucking apartment.
You can catch Cody sometimes just breathing on the glass at the eye outside the arena.
Like lips on it.
No lie. I went on a walk the other day and walked around PNC. Just 'cause it's like right close to my place.
Dude. No, that's
just like holding the season tickets, just walking and looking.
Dude, quarantine or not, if I lived that close, I'd do that shit all the time, probably.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it was I was just staring at the building the entire time. I was listening to a podcast. Don't remember a fucking word of it.
Of course.
All I could hear was just skates and pucks hitting posts.
You hear the goal horn. You hear the cheers.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
Smell the
dude.
smells.
He took his shirt off, started swinging it.
Cody's gonna be like Jack Nicholson in The Shining of PNC, just walking around.
With a hockey stick, just like
yeah.
Dude, if they would let me in, I'd live in there, and I would just walk around the whole time, just like.
You'd be Jack Nicholson.
You've always been the caretaker.
You'd be the ghost of PNC, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Um,
dude, I can't watch another fucking game from last year, 2 years ago, whatever. I'm like so tired of watching old hockey. It's not like it doesn't do anything, and like in like Reddit, like the internet, it's all like 1 year ago today this happened. It's just like it just doesn't do it.
That's
for
that
me
one thing
anymore.
about Twitter too that it never like not that I can't stand it, but it's just like and
Yeah.
A lot of things happen.
yeah, for
But
real.
it's like all people
real.
can talk about now because
Yeah.
there's nothing happening now. So it's like,
Yeah,
do you remember when
nothing
this
new.
happened last year?
Yeah.
Just like fucking
But
dumb.
even then, like those tweets go off like a motherfucker in season when someone's like, did you know that the Hurricanes are 15 shots away from having the most shots taken on a Florida backup goalie in their home arena
on a Tuesday,
after the year 2001?
Yeah.
And you're like, holy
Well, what
fuck,
about
dude,
before 2000?
Someone
Yeah.
give this
Yeah.
kid a job with fucking Cap Geek as soon as possible. Holy fuck.
So for anyone that says that Brock McGinn's not a top 6 forward,
There
you can
you
shove
go,
it.
Just speaking of, fuck it, transitions.
Clean.
Brock's Hammer won the Canes fan vote for the Storm Surge bracket. No
Yep.
surprise, really. I don't think
it makes sense. It was one of the
lame.
OG ones, right?
Lame.
it was kind of one of the OG ones. I don't think it ended up even making my top 4.
It didn't. No,
Yeah.
Brock's Hammer got out of there kind of quick when we did our
Well,
little
you and I were
bracket.
confused too when we did it, Jacob, because there was Brock's Hammer and then there was like Brock brings the lightning.
Yeah.
So we were like, which one's Thor's
Oh
hammer?
yeah.
And
Well,
I remember like we got rid of one because we didn't know what was which.
Yeah. Well, because I think they did some stuff with like the lighting system where they actually had like
Yeah,
lightning
they had
shoot
the
out.
the on ice projection.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah,
like
they ripped
lightning
off
go
Tampa.
out.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, basically.
Facts. But
But
What was the
bring that
championship? Like, what was it? Up
I think it was
against?
that in TVR.
I
Was it
think you're
not?
right.
The basketball one.
I think
Mhm.
so. Could be
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean,
Which
I
I-
like the basketball one better than the Thor one.
I think we had that. At least that one won mine.
TVRs did?
Yeah, I
I-
think I can't
I
recall.
can't remember.
It was definitely up there though for sure.
Yeah. Mine was the Fogel bat flip.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that was also a great one for sure.
For
Yeah, I know it's Kane stuff, but you brought him again. Had to bring it up.
Sure.
With it being episode 62, though, let's go ahead and shout out 62. We got options. You know, it doesn't have to be limited to one, but I think one that kind of sticks out a couple a little bit more than the rest. Our boy Carl Hagelin. You know what I'm saying? Just
Aggies.
absolute speed demon.
For real.
2-time Stanley Cup champion, won back-to-back cups with Pittsburgh. Spent some time in Washington after that.
New York too, right?
Oh
A
yeah.
long time in New York
Rangers,
before
yeah.
Pittsburgh. Yep, I think that was his second or
Yeah.
first team.
Is he still with Washington right now?
No, he's
Nope.
I can't remember where he went. Maybe he's not still with Washington. There's no way.
Down
remember.
playing the AHL.
No. Just can't recall.
Yeah, no, he's still with the Caps.
Yeah, he's with the
He is?
Oh, Jake, you beat me to it.
Yep.
I feel like he doesn't play. Maybe
He's like third, fourth line.
Yeah, he benched him. Like sit in the booth.
Yeah, damn.
But-
Shows you what I know.
Kind of looks like you,
another one-
Josh.
Say again?
Kind of looks like you,
Carl Hagelin?
Carl Hagelin.
Carl Hagelin's got like the most pointiest chin, though. If you see that motherfucker's
Yeah.
chin, that shit comes to a straight point, my guy.
He's got a pointy
he's-
chin, but he's got that blocky ass head, dude.
It's
Well, yeah,
aerodynamics, dude.
He's a red-faced, block-headed white guy. So yeah, like we look alike. Like
He just sticks his chin out. It's like
That's
the
racist.
point breaks through the wind.
a little racist. Another one I had was Ole Jokinen too.
Mhm.
Shouts out Ole Jokinen.
Yo.
When I was looking up numbers to add to this, it gave me Paul Stastny, and I was like, why? His number's
Right.
20. His number's 26. I guess his number was 62,
Oh.
and then he switched it when he went to like another team. His dad was 26, but it's like, why is that guy the best then if he like didn't even really have the number?
Yeah,
that's how lame of a number 62 is.
I was gonna say,
you had it for a little
wrong.
bit's the best.
we're gonna have to get real creative on these last 40 some because
Mhm.
there's just not much there.
Once we break 100,
There's a
we got to
few.
start finding the worst players who wear every number. We got to go
Yeah.
out and find the statistically worst player.
Maybe we could do something with like crazy hockey names.
That'd be
and
good.
Then
There you
and then
go.
do like
Yeah.
rundowns of stats about that guy with that crazy name. I don't know.
We'll figure it out, dude.
But shouts out Carl Hagelin, dude. Just fucking speed demon
Shouts
out there.
Who's
guess he
still
used to
apparently
be.
playing?
Still apparently playing in the NHL. I did not think he was still on the third and fourth line in Washington. Didn't think he'd make it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Moving on.
Dude, I looked up Carl Hagelin on Google Images. When Dylan said he looks like you, accidentally typed in Carol Hagelin. You know, there's a FindAGrave.com, and it's just a picture of a gravestone for a Carol R. Hagelin. Yeah,
And it just tell you
but there's a
the location?
FindAGrave.com. Oh, you guys
Is
wanna
that
find
Carl's
out?
mom?
I hope not. I mean, we chuckled at it, so
Tell us what
I'm
we
not even going to look into it because I don't want it to be someone that.
If it's a different Hagelin, they'll fuck him.
Yeah, you know.
Shouts out the Hagelin family.
Shouts
Shouts
out
out to the
Hagelin
Hagelin
family.
family. Hope they're doing well.
Shouts
during
out
the
Carol
pandemic.
Hagelin.
Not to be confused with Carol Baskin.
Not to be
Fuck
confused
her
with Carol
though.
Baskin.
Yeah.
Definitely not confused with Carl Hagelin's mom. We don't want
And
any
we-
confusion here. Everyone is a different person.
Well, we don't know. We don't know for sure.
We could be the Power Rangers.
we
we
could
could-
be the
well-
Power Rangers.
I am a Power Ranger, but we don't know if that's his mom or not.
Look, if we're gonna say that this is purple, then I'm just gonna be fucking Ivan Ooze.
Nice.
You know,
You're right, you're
you can't be Ivan. Nah.
Yeah, see, bro. Yeah.
You just tell me can't be Ivan News.
I
Like, no, I want to be
Ivan.
Ivan News. You can change, put on a purple shirt right
Dude,
now.
I call
Exactly, dude. I
I
knew
mean,
I
how is
should have
that
worn that
shirt?
purple
How is that
shirt.
shirt red when you
I was
clearly
saying,
have a red
Dylan's
hat?
gonna.
Your flag is red.
It's like it's a weird color red. It's for
Like a
sure
burgundy?
red. though. Yeah, it's like a burgundy.
Yeah, Dylan puts on a purple shirt. He's like, Cody said his shirt was red, dude. I get to.
I don't even.
Nah, I'll kick your ass in and I'll go all ninja on you, bro. Shouts out Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, dude.
Shouts out Ivan News, dude.
Shouts out Ivan News. Shouts out Cody.
Shouts out
Yeah.
Carl Hagelin.
Shouts out.
Shouts out Carol R. Hat.
Oh, look at this. Hold on. Since we're on the Power Rangers thing, real quick.
Oh no.
It better be Ivan News.
What?
He had to take his headphones out and put them back in.
Oh.
it's Alpha.
Oh, shit.
Nice,
That's actually
dude.
sick.
Pretty sick.
And it says "ay ay ay" on it, and then he autographed it.
That's hard. That's
That's
hard.
That's pretty sick.
That's pretty badass.
That's hard.
But I'm gonna assume that no one's gonna watch the movie I just talked about. Everyone dies at the end. No one makes it out of the house, except one
Cool.
guy. One guy made it out. The woman he loved, he tried to save. She died. Of course.
So the same sickos who wrote this are all sitting around after coming up with us. Like, all right, so what's like the big, happy ending or climactic twist? They go, nah, just everyone dies.
No one dies.
Yeah.
You don't feel that great leaving the movie. And that's what we're gonna do.
And then, but the writers, they're like, accomplishment. We got
This
our
is so
depression out.
Oh, God.
Literally, that's like all. That's all I'm getting at.
For real.
All right. So speaking of depression,
I
no
got
hockey.
depression.
Speaking of cosplay.
bitch, I got depression. There's no hockey. There's no Hurricanes. The fuck.
But Trocheck's on Reddit. Trocheck
There's
is
that.
on Reddit answering questions.
So what? That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, so it's he was did an AMA, which is like ask me anything, but like basically sports people, celebrities, whatever. Like we'll just randomly get on and do those. It was very boring. It was a whole bunch of like very short answers and politically correct when people were asking him spicy questions. The only thing that I saw in there that was of relevance is he basically explained. Someone asked him where his jersey number came from, and he said that he wore 21 because his dad wore it when he played baseball. And the fact that his favorite player growing up was Peter Forsberg. So I thought that was interesting. And then it said that when he came to Carolina, obviously 21 wasn't available. So he took 16 because he associated that number with greatness. And he was basically talking about Barkov. And there was like 30 of his answers talked about how like Barkov is his favorite player, his like the best defensive forward, like all this.
Dude,
stuff.
that's why I get tight when people get upset about how, like, people talk about how he's underrated, and then, like, you know, say like he's either not underrated or he's not good enough to fit in that category. Like, I don't think people truly appreciate what that word means. It's like that when everyone else, but the, you know, the stats people, or, you know, the people who you directly look to tell you who are the best players, everyone else is like saying guys like Barkov.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It's
all
wild.
the other pro athletes who are really the only other opinions that matter in this case are saying a guy like Barkov. Just always just speaks volumes.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting for sure.
Yeah, I was reading through some of his answers, and for like every chance he got to like talk about, you know, teammates, locker room, on ice play, everything, he mentioned like, yeah, and you know, and then playing with Barkov, you know, seeing Sasha out there, how hard he works, how hard, all that stuff. It was pretty cool to see. I guess that dude's really killed it as a captain of his team down there.
Yeah, for real. He also talked a little bit. Someone asked if he was playing any video games, and he said that he's currently playing what else? Call of Duty. But that it's the only game that he owns, and he just bought his first console.
So he's trash.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you make it to the NHL, though.
I was about to say, Vincent, dude, come join the squad, but never mind, dude. You sound like you're buns, so stay at home, dude. For real.
He said he's never played NHL.
Yeah, so that was the other question that I wrote down. Is someone said, "Is it weird playing as yourself in NHL 20?" And he said, "Actually, I've never done it." Which I don't understand how you don't do that. Like, I don't know. I might just have it. Like, I might just have.
He's our age,
like,
right?
Yeah, but still, if I was in a video game, best believe as soon as that shit came out, I'm playing as myself.
I feel that.
Like,
yeah. I mean, for sure, but like at the same time, like it's just one of those things where I don't think you know how that would feel until, like, imagine like yourself in a video game. Like, to me, it's almost like,
and then you're a 78. You know what I'm saying? Like, like Trocheck's probably only like an 83, 84 in the game. I don't even remember.
It's the same thing. Like, you know, if you you hear yourself sing, or like you hear yourself on recording for the first time, you're just like, why? I don't like that. I don't like the way I sound. It'd be like the same thing. Like, oh, that's me. Oh God.
Someone put a comment on it too, and it was like, you know, quotations, be a pro or am pro. So it was like, you know, kind of why do you want to do that in a video game if you can, you know, currently go out there and smash? But
that would be hilarious if an NHL player made a be a pro and he's like playing against himself at some point, ends up on the same team as himself
because he hates the team he got drafted for. Doesn't like.
He
doesn't play defense.
He does a franchise mode and is just sending screenshots to the GM all the time. Like, I'm just saying, dude, this trade kind of makes sense. Like,
he trades himself off the team and goes, "Work this deal out for me."
The sim worked. The sim, hit him up.
So I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Shouts out Trocheck though for you know, giving the fans some interaction.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Excited to see him play more in a Canes jersey.
For real. Speaking of people that threw on the sweater, Mr. David Ayres. The way I saw it was his wife saying something on Twitter, which I would imagine, I'd assume one of the first things that agent's going to have him do is make his own Twitter, but maybe not. It works running it through his wife too. So I mean,
for real
that way.
It was interesting. So yeah, the news came out that he just got an agent, whatever. And it was someone who also represent Trocheck, who we were just talking about, obviously, but also Shea Theodore, Bernier, and Zach Ronaldo. But just thought it was interesting. Like someone said, is it for him to be to play or to negotiate the movie rights? Either way, I mean, I think it's hilarious. Do you guys see? Is there any chance that he ever plays in the NHL?
No, zero.
Like,
Zero.
Again, plays in the NHL again.
Right.
So what kind of move is this?
I mean, movie, maybe not even that too, right? Just
the
like
Mighty Duck series, definitely. He's definitely going to be in the Mighty Duck series, dude. That'd actually be kind of sick.
I could see him like making like a cameo on a show like
Just
Letterkenny.
be a goalie coach.
Definitely, he's going to show up on Letterkenny. I could definitely.
You know what I mean?
Jacob says definitely showing up on Letterkenny. It's out there. It's in the air.
Put in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's
I'm leaking that
something,
information now. I have
that's
the same
something
agent.
I could see him probably squeezing some roles in.
Yeah,
for sure.
But
for sure.
It's definitely something that I can't believe it took this long to happen too.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe even at the same time, this is zero shade. But maybe at the same time too, the 15 minutes, if you will, probably started to decline just ever so slightly, especially with no sports going on.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I need something to kind of help keep this thing going. Hire an agent. Hire a PR guy or lady.
For real. It's kind of crazy he handled all those television appearances he did do with no agents or anything. You know?
Well, that's why I think that's where his wife came in. I think she did, and I think they too had mentioned, or David did in an interview. They have a friend who's involved, I think, too, and kind of help. So I think there's like another, and so obviously they would probably got something a little bit more professional.
And obviously working for the Maple Leafs, I'm sure they helped them out some on all that too.
Right,
so.
or at least recommendations, meetings.
Yeah,
for sure. Big shouts out the Ayres. Big shouts out the Hurricanes organization.
Mm-hmm. And not shouts out Brock's hammer.
Not shouts out because it's not Brock's, it's Thor's. I mean, like, look,
thing, dude.
You're not mighty. Like, all right, you're just not. Like,
cold.
It is what it is, man.
Hop up off the first line.
Jamie's the better McGinn. I'm just kidding. Kidding. I love Brock. Well, big fan.
I don't know, man. What is that? Shouts out Hurricanes, right? Shouts out.
Yes, that's really it.
Hurricanes, dude. Yo, did you guys see Joe Thornton shaved his beard?
That video flashed me up, dude.
The fuck?
That's so weird.
It's a new era.
This is the second time he's done the big shave, though, isn't it? Didn't he do it?
Second. Yeah, you know what I mean? For sure. I thought it was for something charity research related too, but then
this time he just did it for TikTok.
I went to look that back up. I couldn't find it. So yeah, I guess it wasn't. But the thing to that I was gonna say is like everyone's like growing facial hair because of the quarantine, and the king of beards in the NHL just says,
everyone's doing it now. Not for me.
Not cool anymore.
Did y'all see? Kind of jumping back into hurricane shit for real quick. Trip Tracy did another one of those calls with Jordan Stahl, Martin Natchez, and Ryan DeZingle. Jordan Stahl has got himself a full-on beard, bro. I
really?
Mean, like, I literally didn't recognize. Like, I just kind of scrolled past where the video was, and there's a screenshot of it, and I was like, "Who the fuck's that guy at the top?" And then I read through the names because there was two faces I didn't recognize. Another one was some John Eisner, I think, is the other dude. So I was like, wait, then who's this bearded motherfucker? I was like, oh, that's Jordan, dude.
big blonde beard.
For real.
Polar bear's got a beard.
For real.
Shouts out Jordan, dude.
Shouts out Jordan. Always. Hurricanes.
So did the Thornton thing, did you guys all see the TikTok too, or was there like a picture that came out, or is that like it was the TikTok with his daughter, the reveal of it?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
She did the genie thing.
It was the Drake light switch thing.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Listen to the music. I didn't even see the audio or hear it. I mean, that's cool.
Flip the switch. And they flipped
I just flipped the switch.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, Joe Thornton, TikTok star.
Deals are still getting signed though. A lot of entry level contracts, but some extensions here and there. Halak, he got it signed for 1 year at 2.25.
Staying in Boston, Baston.
Yep. So and he's obviously a backup, but he could play some games. They're not giving up on Rask.
Yeah, not yet.
Right? I mean,
I wouldn't think so. He's been. I think it's one of those things. The team's so tight, and they're still playing so well. Why change anything? And if you have a guy, good. Halak's a really good backup. He's played really good games for Boston. If everyone likes it there, you know what I'm saying? Sign him back up.
But how old is Rask?
How old's Tuukka?
I think he's like 32.
You know,
not
so
that that's old, but
he's kind of in that same boat I see as Holtby was a few years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and and Boston's a team where if Rask goes down, like they need a solid backup to to carry that team. So
definitely.
And 2.25 is not a bad price for a year.
No,
not at all. And I guess I'm asking too because isn't Rask up this summer?
That's a good question. I can't remember.
Maybe it's Krug who's up right now, and that's what I'm thinking of. And then they got a whole year left to figure out Rask, but that's gonna be a problem because I don't think he's making that much money either. It's gonna be another.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pay him.
It's gonna be another Bob situation where he's not a guy who's ready to play years and years more, but someone's gonna overpay.
Tuukka, I think Tuukka's making $7 million a year right now.
Okay, well,
so he's
but you don't think that's going to go up?
It's probably going to go up though.
When did he sign it?
And how much does he have left? Does he have 1 year?
Yep.
You're looking at
the 2020-2021 season is going to be the last one of the deal that he's on now.
Right.
And yeah, so 2021-22.
I mean, he'll be
UFA.
33.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 34. 34 when he's UFA.
Oh shit! It's
Give
gonna
him
it's gonna be hard to.
Yeah, I
to
would say give him
justify
like
it.
9 for 4 years or something.
See, that right there would be like the perfect overpaying deal, but that's
Yeah.
probably what's going to happen. I could see like realistically someone giving him like 8.5 or 1 or 2.
Yeah,
I just don't
I
see.
can-
I can't see him in anything but a Bruins sweater. Like
you can't
That too.
see him. Can't see him in the red and black
Dude,
with an
Come
Nedeljkovic
on,
as a
we
backup.
had
God.
the whole thing. We had the whole thing. Even Gretzky got traded. Now we can say even Tom Brady left the Patriots.
Even Tom
True.
Brady left the Patriots.
Very true.
So even Tuca can leave the Bruins, dude. Any
Mhm.
fucking thing can happen. Dude,
What do you think would
these
be the
hoes ain't loyal.
craziest?
These hoes ain't loyal.
What do you think would be the craziest move? Like Ovechkin leaving Washington, Crosby leaving Pittsburgh.
Yes, it would
like-
be Ovi or Crosby.
Crosby's way bigger.
Yeah.
Crosby would be a bigger deal. I think.
Like I'm
If we're
telling you, as a
talking
Caps
Logie-
Ovechkin fan, I can absolutely see Ovechkin leaving the Caps. Like I
Yeah,
can see
really.
that no problem. I can see
Yeah.
it with ease.
Ovechkin would
he's
be way
Russian,
more
dude.
likely.
I was about to
leave.
say he's Russian. He's
Russian.
really got no loyalty because
He's
I've
got
stayed in the
zero
States.
loyalties. His only loyalties are to a team, like a
Right.
team. But if that's not this team, then it's
Yeah.
whatever the other team is. It's
Yeah,
that team
yeah.
and winning. That's the only
Hmm.
thing he gives a fuck about.
He's loyal to the logo he's playing for.
Same thing with Crosby, but it goes
is
both
fine.
ways where he's just as loyal to his team.
Yeah.
That'd be
And
wild.
that's if we're comparing him and Ovechkin.
Mhm.
But it would be wild.
I'm trying to think.
Maybe-
What's another low key crazy one?
I was gonna say maybe it's not that wild because I've traded for Ovechkin in so many franchise modes since last year.
You're
deal,
just so
so-
desensitized to it.
Yeah. What's another crazy one?
I mean, I think
would be
Tuca leaving. I think Tuca leaving would be
Tuca
crazy.
leaving Boston.
If
But
Chara
really-
left Boston,
Really, any like
Chara
Chara,
leaving
Martian.
Boston, that would be actually that's probably bigger than Tuca. Chara leaving.
What if
Um,
Johnny T when he left the Islanders was kind of a big deal.
that was a pretty big deal.
What if the Sedins had left Vancouver
together.
Yeah.
Somewhere
or
else.
not?
For real.
Or
If
not.
one of
If
them
they
left,
split,
That'd be
that would have been
weirder.
wild. That would have been wild.
Yeah,
that would have been a whole
I
thing.
don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Crosby definitely the biggest though. But
For sure.
speaking of
Tom
you
Brady
know,
hockey.
yeah, speaking of Russian players and all, the Russian Hockey Federation has put out a list of agents that they have said are not accredited to work in Russia with professional teams or players. And essentially, that boiled down to 5 of the biggest North American-centric Russian agents. Were not on the list. That's Svechnikov's agent, Mark Gandler, Alexander Romanov's agent, Dan Milstein. I think Panarin's agent's on the list too. I don't remember what that dude's name was. But, yeah, I think Russia's getting tired of these agents who are, their goal is to get everyone to the NHL, coming over, stealing all this young Russian talent, bringing them over to the States super early for development purposes.
Right.
And I think so that only applies to players that have KHL. There's 2 other leagues. It's the KHL. I think it's like the VHL. I can't remember. I'm going to get torn apart.
So instead of
But-
the Russians being like somewhat bureaucratic and logistical about it, like making some rule about like the age in which
Mhm.
players or like the eligibility to like sign with foreign agents or whatever like rule you can make, they just ban certain people. Like
essentially.
like
It
if
was
there's
kinda
not a
why-
more obvious
Don't
way,
change the rules. Just murder these people.
Yeah.
if there's not a more like copy pasta for Trump's whole fucking like thing, it's Russia, dude. He just looks at Russia and just goes, yeah, no, they're fucking doing it right over there. I know everyone's starving and miserable, but they're doing it right.
Well, it's the
Fucking
same
out of their
thing.
minds.
It's the same thing that like the NBA tried to do. That they tried to put in a bunch of rules that it was basically going to try to ban LeBron's agent. That was essentially what all the bans boiled down to. All the new like guidelines and check marks. What was that? But yeah, I don't know. It's not really going to affect anyone that has a contract in the NHL right now because you're not contracted with the Russian leagues. But I imagine it's going to be very difficult for these guys to try to pick people. Oh, for sure. You're going to you're going to have all sorts of surrogate agents and surrogate
Surrogate companies.
companies. Yeah. over there.
You're gonna have
doing
like
the work for
partnering
you.
LLCs going in, and it's all because I mean those commissions, dude. You're gonna have like agencies like starting LLCs just so they can go and like talk to these kids. The commission rates are gonna be stupid. I mean,
Exactly.
they'll find workarounds.
And you have the Russian players who, Svechnikov can go back home and talk to that 16-year-old kid that is coming up right now. But hey, man.
You might have to just outsmart some Russian businessmen. It's not like we're fucking talking about cracking Da Vinci's code here.
Just saying.
It's just hilarious. I can't believe, that I want to know what you have to do to be accredited. The website that put the article out.
Well, that's just it. It's fucking made up. It's a fucking complete made up thing. It's like, for real. It's straight up some North Korean type like made up shit. Just like, oh, these people don't meet our standards of accreditation. Like, what is that? What is that? Fuck off.
Yeah, for real.
Like, there's nothing worse. Like, there's literally like it's the exact opposite of the best thing for those players. Like, it's the exact opposite. There's nothing worse than hindering the development and future earning potential of these young athletes. Yeah, pisses me off.
But at least the KHL itself is a profitable league. That's where you might not get paid on time, but they will sign you to the biggest. They have the biggest contracts outside of the NHL, don't they? As far as
I think they do. Yeah,
so.
And it would make sense. I mean, it's where the majority of the best talent goes besides the NHL. I mean, everything else after that's like Swiss leagues and the talent pool just shrinks.
Yeah, it's the only other country that's like this size is compared the size of the actual like. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
place.
When lockouts happen, I mean, the KHL is the first thing that gets views.
Yeah, for real.
So
real. But not shouts out.
But not shouts out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like not shouts out the Rocket. Yeah. What would Master P, dude? Seinfeld's like, I don't know.
What's up with Russia?
Like band agents, what's up with that?
Have y'all heard about?
You ain't got to be accredited to be an agent in Russia now. What's that about? I didn't even realize we were allowed over there in the first place.
2% milk. What's up with that? Yo. Speaking of 2% milk, man.
Speaking of cosplay.
Tonight is the last night, season 1 of the Cancellation Cup. Now, we come begrudgingly to let you all know, if you're not aware, we're not in these finals.
Trash. I know you're disappointed.
In case you haven't been paying attention, we didn't make it to the finals. We didn't even make it to the semifinals. We didn't even make it to the third place consolation game. But hey, it's all right.
We're still here. We're still feeling good about ourselves.
We're still standing.
Yeah, we know how good we are.
You're sick.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. We're trash.
So we'll watch it, just not us.
Yeah, the tournament game, the final game of the tournament's tonight between For the Troops and Kane Stats, Sterling and Carson's team. Winner take all, man. Bragging rights. That's pretty much all we're playing for right now. But this thing's definitely kicking back up next season. It won't be a full year from now. There's going to be a break, I think, between me, Chris, and Sterling. And big shouts out to Chris and Sterling for doing most of the heavy lifting behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
There's going to be definitely a break to kind of give us some time, and even the players who have been playing to kind of just decompress from all the fucking late night video games we've been doing. It's been an incredible way to, have hockey, competitive hockey, while we can't meet up or do anything of the sort of the like. But next season we'll be back. We'll be doing, I think, just us, the podcast, are going to be kind of heading up the entire Threes League division of it, which I reached out and had, or people reached out and showed some interest already. So how that's going to work, I can sort of explain, even though I've been useless in every other aspect of the tournament details. So I think there will be some sort of redraft or drafting for new teams coming into the Sixes side.
Okay.
All the pre-existing Sixes teams, I think, can just show back up. From there, and any of the new teams, all of those teams have the option to then enter a Threes team from your Sixes team. And throughout the whole tournament, you can use any of those 6 players from or how many ever are on your Sixes team can be used on that Threes team. But you can't bring in new people, obviously. It has to be whoever's from your drafted team. Or
we'll see how long that lasts.
Or, well, we'll be running it. Or you can show up with a Threes team, and you just have a Threes team, and those 3 are your 3. So it'll be made up of people showing up with a squad, and people from the 6s division who are entering the 3s team.
Okay.
So they'll be their own separate games with their own sort of schedule. We'll have to figure out how it's going to work with the 6s games for those who are on 6s teams. So again, that's hence why a lot of the breaks going to have to happen. But figure it out. Coming back.
Yeah, that'll be easy. As I guess just having different days where games happen too.
Right. We can, and that'll make it more flexible.
Yeah.
It'll be a much more individual team to team rather than saying like, all right, we all got to play on this day and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
definitely hit us up.
Hit us up. You can hit us up at, we're not plugging, but hit us up at Talkin' Sauce Pod. Any questions about the tournament interest, hit up at Kane Stats for any questions or interest. Hit up at Hockey NC for any questions or interest, excuse me.
Absolutely. And speaking of drafts, though, dude, I saw the league sent out a memo to teams expecting an early June draft before the season continues, which we were talking about, I think, last week, how that may work.
Yeah, right. It would be very strange to have a draft for the next season and still have games from the previous to finish.
There's some committee that put out a memo, and that memo has the draft lottery proposal, which is Detroit would be guaranteed number 1 or number 2 overall. Yeah. Ottawa could do no worse than 3 and 4. New Jersey, Buffalo, Montreal, Chicago could not jump beyond 2, 3, or 4 respectively.
Yeah, because I think what they said was they might go back to how they used to do it, where there's only one draft lottery winner and then the rest is just sorted out. But you can only move up a maximum of 4 spots in the draft. So I think that's how you're saying that Ottawa was guaranteed, or Detroit was guaranteed second and all that. So, but and there's all those.
So like, say who was it just a couple years ago who fell to like 5th?
Oh, I was gonna say, I said jumped up. I was like the Hurricanes.
Hurricanes jump up. We'll jump up.
From
we jumped up pretty big for Fetch.
12 to 2.
It's a big ass jump.
Huge.
Didn't someone jump? Who jumped from either Matthews or it was Toronto? But did they jump for Matthews or Marner? Was there a jump?
Might have been Marner that they jumped up, kind of, because Marner was he taking 4th? Was it something like that? I can't remember. We don't know, I feel like hockey, that was dude.
I just can't remember what the lot. I mean, who's the fuck? Remember the goddamn lottery order picks?
Yeah.
I know Edmonton jumped up too because there was a year. Obviously, they were trash, but they also got it like 3 years in a row.
Yeah,
and I can't remember even back then too. But anyway,
what'd you say, Cody?
Oh, I was just gonna probably say what you were talking about. The league looked at the 15 trades that were done that had conditional terms. They basically, I think LeBron came out and said basically that they've reached out to all the teams with solutions, to reform those trades. Which Vatanen is one of those trades, one of those 15. So I'd be curious to know what they're going to do with that.
Yeah. So was our trade for Marlowe. As far as getting Toronto's first round pick, if there's a scenario where we wouldn't have a first round pick in this draft because we traded for Shea after that, with one of the first round picks.
Don't want to lose that first round pick.
Yeah. So and I think what the league basically said was they would come up with a solution saying, here's what it is, give it to the teams. If they both teams said we don't like that, they could then
which they will
come up with something between themselves that the league would then review and say if that's good or not. So it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be an absolute shit show. But they saw how big of a hit the NFL draft was, and I think they want to try to catch on to some of that clout. Right. Which I think it's different though. The NFL, you watch those college players for 3-4 years or whatever. Get invested in them, and then you want to see where they go. Whereas these guys, they're going to get drafted. We're not going to see 98% of them
or know who
ever. And ever going to see them. And even the ones we do, we're probably not going to see for another 3-4 years because of development. So
far less exciting. Also, too, just with the way the amount of hype you can put into it, promotion wise and things like that. NFL is just going to have that icing. All over the fucking NHL.
And from what I've heard, I mean, there's really not a Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby coming out of this draft. I mean, everyone's hype about is it still Lafreniere?
Lafreniere, Quentin Byfield.
Yeah.
There's a couple other guys.
But just there's not that huge huge name, crazy talent guy that I know of that is supposed to be a guaranteed generational player.
Which, just like on a side note, I'm kind of low key happy about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing more frustrating when you're like sitting here playing franchise mode and you're like, man, I can't wait to take this franchise with the Oilers and give McDavid some cups. And then like the next 2 drafts, you got like these 85 overall high franchise kids going first overall in the draft. And you're like, well, there's the next fucking best player in the league. God damn, I can't keep up. These young kids just keep getting better and better.
For real.
It's a problem.
For real. It's all that training, dude.
We need to, put the needle back the other direction. Let's get all enforcers. I want to see players that all over 6'4", 220.
Yeah, size is what matters now. As we go back to
basically just use Tom Wilson as your archetype.
Okay, all right. I keep behind that.
You can't go wrong.
No, no way. No way that becomes an issue.
Not at all. You let the game police itself. Look, these are groundbreaking ideas, boys.
oh shit.
Fuck. Yeah, but speaking of groundbreaking ideas, where like this podcast.
Where is he going with that one?
So, by the way, I guess this is in a bag. We're done here. So speaking of groundbreaking ideas, Jacob, where can they get in touch with us?
You can find all of our groundbreaking ideas at Talkin Sauce Pod. No underscore. Respect the underscore.
Respect that underscore.
Hit us up about Season 2 of Cancellation Cup, Hockey NC, Cancellation Cup, Kane Stats. Find me at JCobb, JAY_COBBB. Josh, where they get you at?
At Teebs, TEABZZ.
Cody, where they get you at?
At CD_2187.
And if you're listening, check out our YouTube. And Dylan, where they get you at?
You can find me on Reddit. That's u/tbagsyourmum69420 lowercase x capital X. Last week I forgot to say lowercase x capital X. So if you had
all those people were trying to find you.
Several emails.
If you had trouble finding me,
we had several emails about people being confused about how to get up with Squirrel's Reddit.
So it's lowercase x capital X at the end of Teabags You Mom 69420. Have a nice day.